I don't understand what I did wrong. I was driving carefully.
You were going too fast for these conditions, sir. I need you to step back toward the car now.
I need you to keep your hands visible at all times. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, officer, I understand.
Nothing extraordinary. But tonight, under those lights, the air felt heavier, the world smaller. Boots approached. Slow. Certain. Aaron rolled down the window halfway. Rain tapped the roof in a nervous rhythm. The officer's flashlight hit Aaron's face before anything else. A pause. A shift in the air, subtle, but unmistakable. Step out of the car, the officer said, voice flat. I wasn't speeding, Aaron managed. His pulse thudded in his ears. The beam traveled over his suit jacket. Over his briefcase on the passenger seat. Over his skin. You heard me, the officer said, jaw tightening. Criminals don't get to negotiate. The word sliced cleanly, like something rehearsed. Aaron stepped out, palms open, the chill of the night crawling under his collar. Cars slowed as they passed, drivers staring, some curious, some afraid to be caught staring. The officer shoved him toward the hood. Metal met bone. Aaron winced. You fit the description, the officer said. What description? Aaron's voice trembled despite his effort to steady it. The officer didn't answer. He was looking at Aaron the way someone looks at a problem, not a person. Rain intensified, masking the heat building behind Aaron's eyes. Behind them, a second cruiser rolled up, tires hissing across the street. A new light swept the scene. The second officer stepped out, glanced at Aaron, then froze, recognition flickering. Aaron Miles, he said. Aaron lifted his head. The first officer's hand moved to his holster. The moment held, sharp, suspended, dangerous. The rain had calmed to a mist, but the pavement still gleamed with the lingering sheen of the storm. Aaron Miles kept both hands firmly on the wheel, the police cruiser's light strobing across his windshield. He could feel every pulse in his body, steady but strained, like a drum played too long. Officer Grayson approached with a swagger that cut through the night. His boots thudded with a rhythm that wasn't hurried, just dominant. Aaron lowered the window. Good evening, officer. Grayson didn't return the greeting. His flashlight moved slowly, deliberately, tracing Aaron's face as though searching for something wrong. License and registration. Aaron handed them over. May I ask why I was stopped? You didn't use your signal, Grayson said. I did. Aaron kept his voice level. Grayson leaned closer. Are you arguing with me? No. I'm clarifying. That's what criminals say when they get caught. The word landed again, ugly, casual. Aaron swallowed. I'm not. Step out of the vehicle. Aaron hesitated. Only a fraction of a second, but enough. Grayson's voice sharpened. Now. Aaron opened the door carefully and stepped into the cool air. His suit jacket absorbed the moisture in seconds. Hands on the hood. I haven't done anything, Aaron said. Grayson smirked. You fit the description. Aaron looked up. What description? Doesn't matter. Metal chilled his palms as he leaned forward. A second cruiser slowed, then parked behind Grayson's. Officer Rivera stepped out, younger, posture uncertain. He approached and recognized Aaron almost instantly. Mr. Miles. Rivera's voice rose slightly. Sir, are you all right? Grayson snapped. You know him? Rivera nodded. Yeah, his. I don't care who he is. Grayson moved closer, posture widening. He resisted. Rivera blinked. He didn't. Aaron's heart thudded. Rivera's recognition could save him, or it could make things worse. Grayson's jaw tightened. Back to your unit, Rivera. I've got this. Rivera didn't move. Sir, with respect. Back. Now. Aaron watched the exchange, pulse hammering. Rivera hesitated, then took a step back but didn't fully retreat. Grayson leaned in near Aaron's ear. You people always think you're special when someone knows your name. Aaron felt the words like a shove. I haven't broken any law, he said quietly. Grayson grabbed Aaron's wrist. Stop resisting. I'm not resisting. You are now. Rivera stepped forward again. Grayson, your bodycam is on. Grayson paused. The sudden stillness weighed heavily. He forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes and let go of Aaron's wrist. Just keeping things safe. Aaron exhaled, the breath shaky. Let him go, Rivera said. There's no violation. I checked plates before I pulled in. Then you overstepped, Grayson snapped. No, sir. Protocol allows. Enough. Grayson turned to Aaron, thrusting his license back. You're free to leave. This time. Aaron stared at him, aware the interaction wasn't over. Not really. Something simmered beneath Grayson's skin, invisible but dangerous. Thank you, Aaron said softly. Grayson leaned in. Next time I won't be so generous. Rivera stiffened. That's inappropriate. Grayson ignored him. Aaron returned to his car, hands trembling as he closed the door. He adjusted his mirror and saw Grayson still watching him, eyes hard, calculating. As Aaron started the engine, he heard Grayson mutter, "Should have run him in." The words weren't meant for him, but they carried. Aaron drove away, breath shallow, mind spinning. His chest tightened around the thought he tried not to name. This wasn't a mistake. As he turned the corner, a realization struck with cold clarity. Grayson had taken a photo of his plates before letting him go. The night deepened around him as the danger finally showed its face. The police station lobby smelled faintly of old coffee and disinfectant, a combination that always carried the same message: linger only if you must. Aaron stood at the front desk, fingers gripping the strap of his briefcase, determined not to let the previous night's tremor return. The desk sergeant glanced up. "Can I help you?" "Yes," Aaron said. "I'd like to file a complaint regarding Officer Daniel Grayson." The sergeant's expression didn't move. "Reason?" "Misconduct during a traffic stop." The man exhaled slowly, as though inconvenienced. "You can fill out a form." "Good. It may take a while." "I have time." The sergeant disappeared into the back. Minutes hissed by. A printer word, then stopped. Voices murmured behind the glass. When the sergeant finally returned, his hands were empty. "Looks like we're out of complaint forms," he said. Aaron blinked. "Out. Supply shortage." "You have a printer." "Still out." Aaron's jaw tightened. "Then I'll file verbally." "That's not how we do things." "Then give me whatever is used." The sergeant tapped the counter, unimpressed. "Sir, I told you. We don't have it. You can't legally refuse a complaint." The sergeant leaned forward. "Sir, lower your voice." "My voice is not raised." "Still needs to come down." Aaron inhaled through his nose, steadying himself. "I will wait right here." Before the sergeant could respond, footsteps approached behind Aaron. "Mr. Miles." He turned. "Officer Rivera." Aaron felt subtle relief. "Officer, thank you for yesterday." Rivera nodded. "I thought you might come in." He glanced at the sergeant. "Where's his form?" "Out of stock," the sergeant replied. Rivera frowned. "No, they're not. I stocked them this morning." The sergeant shot him a cold look. "Mind your lane, Rivera." "My lane is the law," Rivera said quietly. Aaron watched the tension coil between them. Rivera motioned him toward a side door. "I'll get you what you need." Inside the small administrative room, he closed the door behind them. "Mr. Miles, you should know something before you file this." "I'm listening." Rivera took a breath. "Grayson has had complaints before. They disappear. I don't know where, but they never make it through." Aaron's stomach dropped. "So this is systemic." Rivera hesitated. "I can't say that." "You just did." "I'm saying, be careful." Aaron looked down at the form Rivera handed him. "Careful isn't a luxury anymore." Rivera lowered his voice. "Grayson's been protected for years. He knows the right supervisors. And he's got the union on speed dial. If you push this, they'll push back." Aaron, Saturday, I've faced pushback before. This is different. This is internal. Aaron began writing. Then internal needs accountability. Rivera watched him for a moment. I'll walk this in myself. Make sure it's logged. Thank you, Aaron said. He finished the form, handed it to Rivera, and returned to the lobby where the sergeant glared openly. Rivera handed him a receipt confirming the submission. The sergeant muttered under his breath, "Unbelievable." Aaron ignored it and stepped outside into the pale morning light. His phone buzzed before he reached his car. Unknown number. Aaron answered. Yes. A clipped voice replied, "Mr. Miles, this is Supervisor Hall from the precinct. Regarding the complaint you filed." That was quick. "We take all allegations seriously." Glad to hear it. However, Hall continued, "There's an issue. Your complaint form is incomplete." It isn't. It's missing the section verifying refusal to sign the citation. Aaron's breath stilled. Refusal to sign? I was never presented one. That's not what the report says. Report? Yes. Officer Grayson filed one last night. States you were argumentative, refused lawful commands, and attempted to pull away during detainment. That is false. Sir, we can adjust the record if you're willing to withdraw the complaint. Aaron stopped walking. You're suggesting an exchange. Not an exchange. A clarification. No, Aaron said. A cover-up. There was a pause. Mr. Miles, these matters get complicated. You're a respected attorney. This kind of conflict isn't good for anyone. Aaron felt the familiar tightening in his chest. Forward me the report. That's not standard. Forward it. Another pause. If you insist. I do. The call ended. Aaron exhaled shakily. The station, the sergeant, the supervisor, every piece was snapping into place. Not random. Not sloppy. Coordinated. He reached his car, sat inside, and waited. 2 minutes later, an email arrived. When he opened the attached report, his pulse thudded with each line. Driver became confrontational. Driver refused commands. Driver pulled away, requiring physical restraint. Driver released after verbal warning. His jaw clenched. A fabricated story, signed and time-stamped. A story designed to bury him. The passenger window tapped lightly. Aaron startled, then saw Rivera outside. He lowered the window. You got it, didn't you? Rivera asked quietly. Yes. Rivera exhaled. I tried to intercept it. Hall got to it first. How long has this been happening? Rivera hesitated. Years. Every time someone complains, something gets edited. Rewritten. People get scared. They drop it. Aaron studied him. Why haven't you? I'm tired, Rivera admitted. And I know what I saw last night. I'm not rewriting that. Aaron nodded. Thank you. Rivera looked around, lowering his voice. There's more. Grayson thinks you're trying to ruin his career. That's what he said in briefing this morning. He's angry. Angry people make mistakes, Aaron said. Angry officers make paperwork. Aaron looked down at the report again. This isn't just paperwork. It's character assassination. Rivera hesitated. What are you going to do? Aaron closed the file. Use it. For what? To prove exactly what they're trying to hide. Rivera stepped back. Be careful, Mr. Miles. Aaron nodded. I can't afford not to be. As Rivera walked away, Aaron sat in the silence of his car, the weight of the fabricated charges pressing against his ribs. He wasn't dealing with a single officer. He was dealing with a system designed to erase truth. And it had already decided he was the problem. Morning sunlight cut across Aaron's office window, thin and cold. He sat behind his desk, staring at the printed copy of Grayson's falsified report. It looked harmless, just paper and ink. But every sentence was a weapon. His paralegal, Tessa, knocked lightly. You, okay? Aaron lifted his eyes. Define okay. She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. People online are talking about the stop. He stiffened. Where did they hear about it? A bystander posted a short clip. Cell phone footage. It's grainy, but you can tell what's happening. Aaron rubbed his temple. Great. Tessa hesitated. Do you want me to monitor it? No. Don't engage. He leaned back. This will escalate on its own. She lingered. Your 11 a.m. meeting with the partners, they moved it up. To when? Now. Of course they did. The partners were already seated when Aaron entered the glass-walled conference room. 3 men, 1 woman, all offering the same brittle smiles. Morning, Aaron, said Martin Hale, senior partner. Aaron, Saturday you moved the meeting. Urgent matters, Hale replied. We saw the video. Then you know what happened. We know what the internet thinks happened. Hale interlaced his fingers. Optics matter. Aaron stared at him. Optics, he repeated. We have high-profile clients, Hale continued. Being associated with controversy. I was profiled, detained, and lied about, Aaron cut in. The controversy isn't mine. The only woman at the table, Sylvia, spoke gently. Aaron, no one doubts your integrity. But if you pursue this aggressively, it could pull the firm into the narrative. So you'd prefer I stay silent? We're advising caution, Hale said. A quiet resolution is better for everyone. Aaron's jaw tightened. Better for who? Hale inhaled. We're asking you to consider withdrawing your complaint. Aaron laughed, a short, incredulous breath. Absolutely not. Hale's expression hardened. We're not ordering. Just advising. Advice noted, Aaron said, standing. Ignored, but noted. He walked out before they could reply. In the hallway, his phone buzzed again. Unknown number. He answered. Miles. A low, disguised voice crackled through. Drop the complaint, lawyer. Aaron froze mid-step. Who is this? Someone doing you a favor. How did you get my number? A soft laugh. You poke at cops, you get burned. Ask around. The line clicked dead. Aaron stared at the screen, heat rising in his chest. Not fear, not yet, but something nearby. Later, at home, Aaron sat at his kitchen counter scrolling through messages. Tessa had been right. Social media was a battlefield. Another fake victim trying to ruin a good officer. Just comply and you won't get stopped. Bet he was speeding. Typical. He scrolled further. Someone had found his profile photo. A meme had been made. His stomach twisted. A knock startled him. He checked the peephole. Rivera. Aaron opened the door. You shouldn't come here. Rivera stepped inside anyway. I had to warn you. Grayson knows about the complaint. And he's angry. I know, Aaron said. Someone called me. Rivera cursed under his breath. He's stirring people up. Making you a target. I noticed. Rivera rubbed the back of his neck. Look. I shouldn't be here, but you didn't deserve any of this. And now they're circling the wagons. Aaron gestured to the living room chair. Sit. Rivera sat hesitantly. Aaron leaned forward. Tell me straight. What am I up against? Rivera swallowed. A department that protects its own. Supervisors who rewrite reality. A union that treats every complaint like a personal attack. And Grayson. He's their favorite. Loud, loyal, old school. Old school meaning racist. Rivera didn't answer directly. Old school meaning untouchable. Aaron let the silence settle. What happens next? Rivera looked at him with a bleak sort of honesty. They'll try to drown you in process. Lost paperwork. Delayed hearings. Counterclaims. They'll make you the problem. That's how they win. Not this time, Aaron said. Rivera exhaled. You're in danger, Mr. Miles. Aaron shook his head. I'm in the right. That doesn't protect you. After Rivera left, Aaron stood at the window watching distant headlights smear along the wet street. His reflection looked tired, drawn. He touched the glass, grounding himself. His phone buzzed again, an email notification. Subject line: statement needed for pending charges. He opened it. The precinct formally requested his written statement regarding the incident of refusal to comply. Aaron dropped his hand to the counter. Refusal to comply, he repeated under his breath. They're doubling down. The system wasn't just resisting. It was attacking. He paced the living room, tension coiling tighter with every step. The fabricated report wasn't just a lie, it was a strategic trap. If he didn't respond, they'd claim guilt. If he did, they'd twist his words. And if he escalated, they'd escalate harder. His laptop chimed. A news alert. He clicked it. The headline punched him in the chest. Supreme Court attorney claims racial profiling. Officer disputes aggressive driver. Aaron sank into the couch, staring at the headline. His privacy was gone. His reputation was being repainted in real time. He clicked the article. Grayson had already given a statement to the press. The driver became confrontational. He refused multiple commands. I treated him like anyone else. I fear his weaponizing his position to retaliate. Weaponizing. Retaliate. The narrative was shifting. His phone buzzed again, messages from colleagues, reporters, old classmates. A deep ache settled behind his ribs. The system had one goal: make him doubt himself, exhaust him, isolate him. Aaron closed his eyes, whispering to no one, not this time. Because beneath the fear, something steadier rose. Resolve. They wanted him quiet. That meant speaking mattered. That meant fighting mattered. Even if it cost him everything. Aaron sat in the small conference room of a downtown community center. Rain streaked the windows outside, a muted backdrop to the quiet hum of fluorescent lights. Rivera leaned against the wall, arms crossed, watching him scribble notes and organize printed statements from citizens. Are you sure you want to talk to them? Rivera asked. I have to, Aaron said. I need patterns, not just one story. A young mother, Mariah, shifted uncomfortably in the seat across from him. I wasn't going to come, she admitted. But my son, he's 17. They stopped him last month. Said he matched a description. Took him downtown for hours. Aaron's pen hovered. Did anyone file a complaint? Her lips pressed together. We tried. They said it was unnecessary. Never heard back. Rivera's jaw tightened. This is exactly what I warned you about. Aaron nodded. I'm trying to see the bigger picture. Not just Grayson, not just last night. A middle-aged man, clutching a coffee cup, spoke next. My car was flagged 3 months ago. Same officer. I thought I was imagining it, until my neighbor, same block, got stopped last week. No citations, no explanation. Aaron leaned forward. Did anyone record it? No one thought to, the man said. But I remember the tone. The way he looked at us. Rivera muttered under his breath. He always looks at you like you're the problem. Aaron wrote rapidly. That's a pattern. A pause. I think he gets off on it, Mariah added softly. Like his testing people. Seeing how far he can push. Rivera looked uncomfortable. That's plausible. Aaron set his pen down. I need names, dates, anything verifiable. Statements from everyone willing. The group exchanged nervous glances. Will anyone speak up if something happens? One asked. Aaron met each pair of eyes. I'll protect your anonymity where I can. But the first step is being heard. A teenage boy, standing near the back, whispered. He tried to arrest me for walking home from school. Said I looked suspicious. Never filed a report. Afraid my dad would get in trouble. Aaron nodded, documenting every word. You're brave for telling me. Rivera's voice broke the silence. It's brave to survive this system. Even talking is risky. Aaron leaned back, eyes scanning the collected forms. I've read reports, legal opinions, memos, internal warnings. Grayson's record is surprisingly protected. Rivera's expression darkened. Protected is the word. He's untouchable unless someone higher up wants to rock the boat. Aaron exhaled. That's what I need to expose. Not just him. The shield behind him. Mariah's hand trembled on her lap. Do you think it will matter? If they cover it up, nothing changes. Aaron met her gaze firmly. It changes when the truth is in the right hands. Rivera's eyes flicked to the door. You know, some people think they can fix the system alone. They burn out fast. Aaron leaned forward. Then I'll work with everyone willing to stand, not alone. A long silence followed. Only the faint hum of the fluorescent lights filled the room. Rain pattered steadily on the windows. The young boy spoke again. Do they always get away with it? They try, Rivera said quietly. But sometimes someone slips through the cracks. Aaron's pen paused mid-sentence. That someone might be me. Later, back in his office, Aaron stared at the growing folder of documents. Each page told the same story: stops, threats, misunderstandings, and official erasures. The evidence was piecemeal, but enough to sketch a pattern. His phone buzzed. Rivera's name flashed. Aaron answered quickly. Any progress? Rivera asked. I've documented 10 separate incidents, Aaron replied. All tied to Grayson. 10. And how many never get recorded? Aaron closed his eyes. Too many. Too many that we'll never know. Rivera's voice softened. Aaron, you need to pace yourself. This is bigger than a single case. Bigger than you. Aaron gritted his teeth. Then I'll make sure the system sees it anyway. A long pause. Just, be careful. They'll fight you every step. I expect nothing less, Aaron said. The call ended. Aaron sat back, staring out the rain-streaked window. The city beyond reflected in the glass looked calm, ordinary. But the reality he was uncovering was anything but. Each account, each erased complaint, each whispered fear, every detail confirmed the same lesson. Grayson was a symptom and the department a shield. To challenge one meant to challenge both. He touched the stack of printed statements. I will make them see, he whispered to himself. Even if it costs everything. Rain slid down the window pane. Outside, the street lights flickered as if acknowledging the weight of his resolve. And for the first time, Aaron felt the line between fear and determination blur into something sharper: purpose. The morning news broke Aaron's routine before he could sip his first coffee. His laptop pinged insistently with alerts, each headline blaring the same story: Supreme Court lawyer claims racial profiling by officer disputes account. He leaned back in his chair, hands gripping the edge. The video was circulating, grainy, shaky footage from a bystander. Enough to show the tension, enough to expose Grayson's excessive force. Tessa appeared in the doorway. You've gone viral, she said, voice tight. And it's not all supportive. Aaron didn't look up. I expected backlash. Some of the comments, it's ugly. Threats, insults, even people trying to discredit you professionally. Aaron closed the laptop. Let them. The truth is on our side. Tessa frowned. You make it sound so simple. He gave a small, bitter smile. Nothing worthwhile is simple. Later, he met Rivera at a quiet cafe. The smell of espresso did little to soothe the tension between them. They've spun it already, Rivera said. Local news painted you as aggressive. Officer Grayson is the hero of the story. Aaron's fingers drummed the table. And the public. They know the video doesn't lie. Some do. Some don't care. The social media crowd loves drama, not nuance. Aaron exhaled slowly. I can't control public opinion. Only the record. Rivera's gaze dropped. Your record is already under fire. The precinct released an internal memo supporting Grayson, claiming your statements are exaggerated. They're framing this as mutual conflict. Aaron's jaw tightened. They're lying. Rivera shrugged. Systemically, that doesn't matter. Only perception matters until someone holds them accountable. By mid-afternoon, Aaron returned to his office, exhausted but resolute. His phone buzzed with a message from a civil rights organization. "We've seen the footage. We'll support your case legally and publicly." He exhaled. One ally, finally. The next email brought a notice from the precinct. "You are required to submit a written account of the incident immediately. Failure to do so may result in formal action." Aaron's fingers hovered over the keyboard. The trap was set: respond, and risk twisted words, ignore, and face claims of non-cooperation. A knock at the office door startled him. "Mr. Miles." A reporter's voice called. Aaron looked up. "I'm not giving interviews." "I understand, but this is urgent. The video has gone national. People want to know your side." He stood, controlling his tone. "I only release statements through my legal team." The reporter nodded and left. Tessa shook her head. "They're relentless. They think they can intimidate me into silence," Aaron said. "They don't understand what happens when the truth is documented." Evening came. Rain tapped lightly against his apartment windows. Aaron reviewed all collected evidence: citizen statements, bodycam footage, legal memos, prior complaints. Each page reinforced the pattern: repeated misconduct, erased complaints, union protection. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. "Mr. Miles," the voice said, low and measured. "You've stirred attention. Officer Grayson is aware." "I know," Aaron replied. "Be prepared for pushback. Not just online. Directly. Professionally. Personally." Aaron's chest tightened. "Threats don't frighten me. They only prove the system fears accountability." A pause. Then, the line went dead. That night, Aaron lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Sleep was impossible. The images from the traffic stop replayed in his mind: Grayson's smirk, the shove against the hood, the words, "Next time, I won't be so generous." He felt the weight of every story he had collected, the silent victims, the erased complaints. Each one demanded acknowledgement. Each one demanded justice. His phone buzzed again. A private message from a colleague: "They're mobilizing against you. Expect retaliation." Aaron sat up, a rush of adrenaline mixed with fatigue. "Then I fight," he whispered. He drafted a strategy, carefully outlining steps for legal action, media outreach, and community involvement. Every move had to be precise. Every word documented. Tessa peeked in. "You're pushing yourself too hard." Aaron met her eyes. "I've pushed myself too hard to ignore this now." She nodded, knowing arguing would be useless. By late night, Aaron finally allowed himself a moment of reflection. His phone screen reflected his determined face, weary, tense, but unbroken. The system had tried to erase him. The department had tried to rewrite reality. Grayson had tried to intimidate him personally. But the leak, the footage, the collected statements, they were cracks in the shield. Tomorrow, the fight would escalate. Media, internal investigations, public scrutiny, it was coming. And for the first time, Aaron didn't feel fear. He felt resolve. And in that resolve was the understanding that the turn had already begun. The moment of exposure was approaching. The system could still resist. But it would no longer be untouchable. Aaron arrived at his office early, the city still dripping from the afternoon rain. His inbox had exploded overnight: emails from civil rights groups, local reporters, colleagues, and, most unsettling, anonymous threats. Tessa sat at her desk, reviewing articles. "They're escalating," she said quietly. "How bad?" Aaron asked. "They've dug up every minor detail. Grayson's allies are spinning narratives, calling you aggressive, unreasonable, even paranoid." Aaron rubbed his face. "It's predictable. If they can't discredit the evidence, they'll try to discredit me." Tessa frowned. "Even the precinct is warning officers not to talk about you." "Intimidation," Aaron muttered. "They hope I collapse under pressure." Later, Rivera came by, leaning against the doorframe. You should see what's happening outside, he said. Aaron gestured for him to continue. Union lawyers are filing claims. They're arguing defamation, harassment. They've contacted media outlets, framing you as the instigator. And, Rivera's voice dropped. They've started showing up near your home. Aaron's stomach tightened. Stalking. Rivera nodded. Harassment. Nothing physical yet, but the intent is clear. Aaron exhaled, steadying himself. Then we document. Every message. Every approach. Every attempt. Some of your colleagues are nervous, Rivera added. They've been told it's safer to avoid contact. Aaron's eyes hardened. I won't be intimidated by silence. By noon, reporters crowded the street outside his law firm. Cameras flashed, microphones thrust forward, recording every step. Aaron stepped onto the sidewalk, raising a hand for calm. I will issue a statement through my legal team, he said. No further comment. A reporter shouted, Do you feel threatened? Aaron's gaze swept the group. The threat is the system's usual defense, intimidation, not accountability. The reporters scribbled and clicked, capturing the tone but not the full meaning. Back in his office, Aaron reviewed a fresh stack of reports. Bodycam footage from unrelated stops showed patterns, repeated matching description claims against black drivers, ignored complaints, supervisors backing officers blindly. He turned to Tessa. Every pattern we uncover strengthens the case. It's not just Grayson, it's the culture that protects him. Tessa nodded, eyes wide. Are you ready for the hearing? Aaron leaned back. The evidence is mounting. But it's bigger than one session. That evening, Aaron's phone buzzed. Unknown number. A disguised voice spoke. You're pushing too far, Mr. Miles. They're watching. You think the media will protect you? Aaron's pulse quickened. I expected resistance. Nothing else matters. You don't know what they can do, the voice said. Stop now, or you'll regret it. Aaron stared at the phone. If exposing corruption brings danger, so be it. The line went dead. The next day, Aaron met with Rivera at a quiet coffee shop. The atmosphere was tense, conversations low around them. They've been pressuring witnesses, Rivera said. Those willing to testify about Grayson's misconduct are being discouraged. Transfers, subtle threats, even reassignment of cases. Aaron nodded. Then we document that too. Every attempt to obstruct the truth is evidence of systemic protection. Rivera's voice trembled slightly. Some people say you're naive. That they'll break you before anything happens in court. Aaron's gaze didn't waver. Then they underestimate what persistence can do. A waitress approached with their orders. Rivera muttered a quick thanks, still uneasy. Aaron set down his coffee. We can't fight this half-heartedly. Every email, every statement, every witness, protected or anonymous, we use it. Rivera exhaled. You're prepared to go through fire. Aaron's jaw tightened. If that's what it takes to hold the system accountable, yes. That night, Aaron returned home to find a plain envelope slipped under his door. No markings, no return address. Inside, photographs of his car, his building, even a nighttime shot of his apartment window. Tessa examined them carefully. They're escalating. This is beyond professional retaliation. Aaron picked up the images, laying them side by side. It's intimidation. Expected. They want me scared. And? She asked. Aaron's eyes hardened. They'll see my resolve is stronger than fear. The week ended with another barrage. A union attorney called, demanding he retract statements, threatening a countersuit. The local precinct emailed internal warnings to employees associating with Aaron. Social media chatter escalated. He stared at the wall of screens in his apartment. Emails, news alerts, social feeds. Rivera's voice rang in his memory. Some people burn out fast. This system is designed to exhaust you. Aaron clenched his fists. Then I will not burn out. He opened the folder of collected statements, videos, and internal memos. Each piece of paper represented a story, a life, a truth they couldn't erase. "This isn't about me," he whispered. "It's about all of them." Rain pattered lightly against the windows. Outside, the city seemed ordinary. Inside, the fight was far from over. Aaron leaned over his desk, pen in hand. Every detail meticulously noted. Every pattern carefully traced. Every injustice catalogued. The crossfire had begun. And he would not blink first. Aaron arrived at his office early, the city still dripping from the afternoon rain. His inbox had exploded overnight, emails from civil rights groups, local reporters, colleagues, and, most unsettling, anonymous threats. Tessa sat at her desk, reviewing articles. "They're escalating," she said quietly. "How bad?" Aaron asked. "They've dug up every minor detail. Grayson's allies are spinning narratives, calling you aggressive, unreasonable, even paranoid." Aaron rubbed his face. "It's predictable. If they can't discredit the evidence, they'll try to discredit me." Tessa frowned. "Even the precinct is warning officers not to talk about you." "Intimidation," Aaron muttered. "They hope I collapse under pressure." Later, Rivera came by, leaning against the doorframe. "You should see what's happening outside," he said. Aaron gestured for him to continue. "Union lawyers are filing claims. They're arguing defamation, harassment. They've contacted media outlets, framing you as the instigator. And," Rivera's voice dropped, "they've started showing up near your home." Aaron's stomach tightened. "Stalking?" Rivera nodded. "Harassment. Nothing physical yet, but the intent is clear." Aaron exhaled, steadying himself. "Then we document. Every message. Every approach. Every attempt." "Some of your colleagues are nervous," Rivera added. "They've been told it's safer to avoid contact." Aaron's eyes hardened. "I won't be intimidated by silence." By noon, reporters crowded the street outside his law firm. Cameras flashed, microphones thrust forward, recording every step. Aaron stepped onto the sidewalk, raising a hand for calm. "I will issue a statement through my legal team," he said. No further comment. A reporter shouted, "Do you feel threatened?" Aaron's gaze swept the group. The threat is the system's usual defense, intimidation, not accountability. The reporters scribbled and clicked, capturing the tone but not the full meaning. Back in his office, Aaron reviewed a fresh stack of reports. Bodycam footage from unrelated stops showed patterns, repeated matching description claims against black drivers, ignored complaints, supervisors backing officers blindly. He turned to Tessa. "Every pattern we uncover strengthens the case. It's not just Grayson, it's the culture that protects him." Tessa nodded, eyes wide. "Are you ready for the hearing?" Aaron leaned back. "The evidence is mounting. But it's bigger than one session." That evening, Aaron's phone buzzed. Unknown number. A disguised voice spoke. "You're pushing too far, Mr. Miles. They're watching. You think the media will protect you?" Aaron's pulse quickened. "I expected resistance. Nothing else matters." "You don't know what they can do," the voice said. "Stop now, or you'll regret it." Aaron stared at the phone. If exposing corruption brings danger, so be it. The line went dead. The next day, Aaron met with Rivera at a quiet coffee shop. The atmosphere was tense, conversations low around them. "They've been pressuring witnesses," Rivera said. "Those willing to testify about Grayson's misconduct are being discouraged. Transfers, subtle threats, even reassignment of cases." Aaron nodded. "Then we document that too. Every attempt to obstruct the truth is evidence of systemic protection." Rivera's voice trembled slightly. "Some people say you're naive. That they'll break you before anything happens in court." Aaron's gaze didn't waver. "Then they underestimate what persistence can do." A waitress approached with their orders. Rivera muttered a quick thanks, still uneasy. Aaron set down his coffee. "We can't fight this half-heartedly. Every email, every statement, every witness, protected or anonymous, we use it." Rivera exhaled. "You're prepared to go through fire." Aaron's jaw tightened. If that's what it takes to hold the system accountable, yes. That night, Aaron returned home to find a plain envelope slipped under his door. No markings, no return address. Inside, photographs of his car, his building, even a nighttime shot of his apartment window. Tessa examined them carefully. They're escalating. This is beyond professional retaliation. Aaron picked up the images, laying them side by side. It's intimidation. Expected. They want me scared. And? She asked. Aaron's eyes hardened. They'll see my resolve is stronger than fear. The week ended with another barrage. A union attorney called, demanding he retract statements, threatening a countersuit. The local precinct emailed internal warnings to employees associating with Aaron. Social media chatter escalated. He stared at the wall of screens in his apartment. Emails, news alerts, social feeds. Rivera's voice rang in his memory. Some people burn out fast. This system is designed to exhaust you. Aaron clenched his fists. Then I will not burn out. He opened the folder of collected statements, videos, and internal memos. Each piece of paper represented a story, a life, a truth they couldn't erase. This isn't about me, he whispered. It's about all of them. Rain pattered lightly against the windows. Outside, the city seemed ordinary. Inside, the fight was far from over. Aaron leaned over his desk, pen in hand. Every detail meticulously noted. Every pattern carefully traced. Every injustice catalogued. The crossfire had begun. And he would not blink first. Aaron arrived at the courthouse before sunrise, the city still cloaked in mist. The grand stone steps loomed over him, a reminder that justice could be deliberate, slow, and unforgiving. Yet today, every document he had compiled, every witness statement, every recording, was poised to confront the system that had protected Grayson for years. Rivera met him at the entrance. You ready? Aaron tightened the strap on his briefcase. I'm ready. Rivera exhaled. You know they'll try to spin it as harassment, exaggeration, anything to discredit you before the hearing even begins. I'm aware, Aaron replied. I'm also aware of the evidence. Inside the courtroom, the atmosphere was tense. Journalists crowded the back, cameras clicking softly, microphones leaning forward. On the other side, Officer Grayson sat with his attorney, posture rigid, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. The judge entered, gavel tapping once, sharp against the wooden podium. Silence fell. Aaron's voice, steady but charged, addressed the court. Your Honor, today is not about a single officer's conduct. It is about systemic failure, repeated abuse, and the silencing of those who speak the truth. Grayson's attorney interrupted. Objection. This is hearsay. My client. Aaron raised a hand. I will present documented evidence, verified statements, and patterns supported by video. This is not opinion, this is fact. The judge nodded, signaling for the hearing to proceed. Mariah, the mother from the community meeting, was called to testify first. Her hands trembled slightly as she held the microphone. My son was stopped without reason, she said, voice tight but unwavering. We filed complaints, but nothing happened. It made him feel criminalized for simply walking home. Grayson shifted in his seat. His jaw tightened. Aaron leaned forward. Can you provide dates or records? Yes, she said, holding out printed statements. Every instance is documented. Next came the middle-aged neighbor, clutching a folder of his own. I was stopped 3 times last year. Each time, the story was rewritten. Each time, I was made to feel at fault. Rivera whispered from the back. This is what I meant. Patterns. Systemic protection. Aaron's eyes scanned the room. The evidence was no longer isolated. The witnesses formed a mosaic that the department could no longer ignore. Grayson's attorney tried to intervene. Your Honor, these claims do not constitute proof of misconduct. Aaron interrupted firmly. Respectfully, Your Honor, proof is not only in isolated incidents. It is in repeated actions, documented attempts to erase complaints, and corroborated witness testimony. The judge tapped the gavel. Proceed carefully, Mr. Miles. Aaron continued, presenting screenshots of internal emails, redacted reports, and the bystander video. Each piece built a narrative that could not be spun away. The room murmured. Even some officers in the back shifted uncomfortably, caught between loyalty and truth. During a break, Aaron stepped outside, breathing the crisp morning air. Rivera approached quietly. "You've shaken them," he said. Even internally, whispers are spreading. Some officers are questioning the narrative. Aaron exhaled. Good. They should question it. That's the point. Rivera hesitated. You realize this could make you a target, not just professionally. They may retaliate outside the courtroom. Aaron shook his head. Then we make sure every move is documented. Public and legal scrutiny. Transparency is protection. Back inside, the hearing resumed. A final witness took the stand, a junior officer willing to speak anonymously about Grayson's history of complaints being lost or altered. My conscience would not allow me to ignore this anymore, the officer said, voice disguised electronically. I have seen repeated misconduct covered up. A gasp ran through the courtroom. Even some members of the department appeared unsettled. Aaron's closing words were precise, calm, but piercing. The evidence demonstrates not a single failure but a culture of protection. Not isolated mistakes, but repeated omissions. Justice cannot wait for convenience, it must be demanded for truth. The judge leaned back, scanning the documents. I will review all submitted materials. A ruling will follow. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Microphones reached toward him. Aaron spoke clearly, carefully. This hearing is not about me. It is about accountability and ensuring the system serves all citizens fairly. Questions came faster than he could answer. Cameras flashed, capturing his determined expression. Rivera placed a hand lightly on his shoulder. You did what needed to be done. Aaron nodded, though the weight of every threat, every late-night warning, still pressed on him. The fight isn't over, he said. No, Rivera agreed. But the turn has begun. Rain began to fall again, soft and steady. Aaron looked up, feeling the droplets against his face through the courthouse steps. He had exposed cracks in a shield long considered untouchable. And for the first time, he knew the system could be made to account for its failures. Not immediately. Not without struggle. But the exposure was the beginning. The beginning of reckoning. Aaron arrived at his office early, the sky still dim with dawn. The city felt unusually quiet, but he knew it was deceptive. Every alert, every new article, every social media thread added weight to the tension he carried. Tessa entered, carrying a stack of new witness statements. It's escalating, she said, her voice low. People are coming forward faster than anticipated. Even officers who stayed silent before are sending reports. Aaron rubbed his eyes. Good. Every voice counts. Rivera leaned against the doorframe. Some of the higher-ups are furious. They see the exposure spreading and are already plotting containment strategies. Aaron's jaw tightened. Let them plot. The evidence is airtight. Patterns, recordings, witness testimony, they can't ignore it. Tessa frowned. You know they'll try personal attacks next. Online, professional, even on your personal life. Aaron's eyes narrowed. Then we prepare. Every attempt. Documented. Every misdirection. Recorded. Transparency is our shield. By mid-morning, Aaron had gathered with his legal team in the firm's conference room. Large screens displayed internal emails, bodycam clips, and social media threads. One colleague spoke first. The department is threatening retaliation against witnesses. They're sending memos to intimidate anyone cooperating with us. Aaron leaned forward. Document it all. Each threat is proof of systemic protection and obstruction. Another colleague added, media coverage is splintered. Some outlets are sympathetic, others echoing precinct talking points. Public opinion is fractured. Aaron sighed. That's expected. Our goal is consistency, evidence, transparency, undeniable patterns. Truth does not need spin. Later, at a small meeting with community witnesses, Mariah spoke first. They came to my door, she said, voice shaking. Anonymous notes, warnings, telling me to drop my statements. Aaron nodded. You documented it? Yes, she replied. Every note. Every call. I'm afraid, but I know it's important. Aaron's gaze softened. Fear is understandable. Courage is choosing to move forward despite it. A young man from the neighborhood added, some people are scared. They think speaking up will destroy them. Aaron leaned forward. It may be uncomfortable, even dangerous, but truth is stronger than silence. You're making the system accountable. Rivera whispered, they're pushing people to the breaking point. Aaron's eyes hardened. Then we make sure breaking points become leverage for transparency, not submission. By afternoon, a meeting was called with a higher-level precinct official. The officer, mid-50s, stern and measured, sat across from Aaron. Mr. Miles, your allegations are serious, the officer began. But be aware that exposing misconduct will provoke consequences. You should consider withdrawing your complaints. Aaron's hands were folded, calm but deliberate. I am not withdrawing. Accountability cannot be negotiated. Misconduct cannot be hidden. The officer's eyes flickered with irritation. You understand professional risk. Aaron leaned forward, steady. I understand the system better than most. Risk is inherent in confronting repeated abuse. But truth is non-negotiable. The officer leaned back, expression unreadable. We'll see how far you can maintain that resolve. Night fell, and Aaron returned to his apartment, exhausted. Emails and notifications still poured in, witness confirmations, news alerts, anonymous threats, and sympathetic messages. Tessa joined him at the kitchen counter. Do you ever feel it's too much? Aaron shook his head. Not when the stakes are this high. This isn't about me. It's about every person silenced, every complaint erased, every injustice hidden. Rivera appeared in the doorway, voice low. They've increased surveillance. Some of your neighbors reported unfamiliar cars parked nearby. Anonymous calls. Even your routine is being watched. Aaron nodded, eyes scanning the room. Documentation. Transparency. The moment anything crosses legal boundaries, it's evidence. Tessa frowned. It's relentless. Aaron's jaw set. The system thrives on exhaustion. Persistence breaks it. Late night brought a final, chilling email. Continue and you will face consequences. Withdraw or prepare for impact. Aaron read it, then closed the laptop deliberately. He breathed deeply. This is expected, he said quietly to himself. Threats are just attempts to maintain control. Rivera nodded. Some would crumble here. Aaron's eyes were unwavering. Not me. Not when the system's failures are this visible. He reviewed the folder one last time. Statements, videos, memos, and social media evidence. The patterns were undeniable. The repeated misconduct, erasure of complaints, and protection of Grayson, all documented meticulously. Rain pattered against the windows, gentle but persistent. Aaron gazed outside. They think this will intimidate us, he said softly. But exposure cannot be silenced. Truth cannot be erased. Rivera placed a hand on his shoulder. You've reached the breaking point of the system. Now it will start to bend under pressure. Aaron's lips pressed into a thin line. Then we make sure it bends toward justice, not cover-ups. He leaned back, exhausted but resolute, knowing the next steps would determine not just Grayson's fate, but the accountability of the entire system he challenged. The crossfire had reached its peak. And Aaron was ready. The courtroom was packed. Cameras from every major network lined the rear, microphones leaned toward the judge's bench, and the air buzzed with tension. Aaron entered, briefcase in hand, calm but alert. Rivera fell in step beside him. Today decides more than one career, he said quietly. Aaron nodded. It decides whether the system bends toward truth or silence. Across the room, Grayson sat with his attorney. His usual smirk was gone, replaced with a tight-lipped anxiety Aaron had never seen before. The judge entered, gavel tapping sharply against the wood. Silence fell instantly. Aaron approached the podium. "Your Honor," he began, voice steady and resonant, "this case is not about revenge. It is about accountability, exposure of systemic protection, and the rights of citizens to be free from repeated misconduct. The evidence presented shows a pattern: repeated stops, erased complaints, and shielding by the department." Grayson's attorney rose. "Objection. Much of this is circumstantial." Aaron interjected firmly. "Objection noted, Your Honor. But evidence is not only in isolated incidents. It is in the documentation of repeated, corroborated misconduct. Witness statements, internal memos, bodycam footage, and social patterns collectively demonstrate systemic failure." The judge nodded. "Proceed." One by one, witnesses returned to the stand. Mariah spoke first, recounting the unjust stops of her son and the lack of departmental response. Her voice shook slightly but held resolve. A young man from the neighborhood presented his testimony next, with Aaron prompting for specifics: dates, locations, responses, or lack thereof. Each detail chipped away at the credibility of Grayson's defense. Even a junior officer, speaking anonymously, described repeated attempts to hide misconduct, manipulated reports, and the culture of silence that protected Grayson. Rivera whispered to Aaron, "They're crumbling. Even internally, people can't defend him anymore." Aaron's eyes scanned the room. The weight of the documented evidence was undeniable. Grayson's attorney tried one final defense. "Your Honor, my client has a right to be presumed innocent of malicious intent. Misunderstandings can happen." Aaron stepped forward. "Your Honor, repeated misunderstandings over years are no longer misunderstandings. They are patterns. Patterns that victims, witnesses, and evidence confirm. This is accountability, not accusation." The judge leaned back. Silence enveloped the room. Even journalists paused, pens and cameras still in hand. After deliberation, the judge returned, gavel in hand. "Officer Grayson's actions, as presented, demonstrate a repeated pattern of misconduct. The department is directed to take immediate disciplinary action. Additionally, internal oversight protocols must be reviewed and enforced to prevent future occurrences." A murmur ran through the courtroom. Aaron exhaled slowly, the tension releasing just slightly. Rivera grinned faintly. "It's done." Aaron nodded, though the gravity remained. Justice had been served, but the scars of systemic failure, and the trauma endured by victims, would not vanish overnight. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Aaron gave a brief statement. "This outcome demonstrates that accountability is possible, even in systems long resistant to transparency. We must continue vigilance, document misconduct, and demand justice for all." Mariah and the other community witnesses nodded, some with tears in their eyes. "We were heard," she whispered. Aaron gave a faint smile. "Yes. And the pattern cannot be ignored anymore." Later, at the office, Aaron reviewed the final internal memos submitted by the precinct. Grayson had been suspended pending formal review, and the department had committed to revising procedures to prevent cover-ups. Rivera leaned back, exhaustion etched into his features. "You changed the system." Aaron's voice was soft but resolute. "We forced it to account for itself. That's the difference between exposing a single act and confronting a pattern." Tessa placed a hand on his shoulder. "You did it, Aaron." For everyone silenced. Aaron nodded, though he felt the emotional cost: late nights, threats, constant scrutiny, and the weight of every story he had carried. Justice came with resilience, but also with fatigue. In the weeks that followed, news outlets continued coverage of the case, discussing systemic protection, accountability, and the ripple effect of Aaron's persistence. Officers previously silent began cooperating with internal reviews. Citizens felt empowered to file complaints, knowing evidence would be taken seriously. Aaron watched the city skyline one evening, rain lightly streaking the windows. The system had been exposed. Repercussions were real, tangible, and unavoidable. Rivera stood beside him. You've left a mark. The current is strong now. Aaron exhaled, finally allowing a brief moment of reflection. It's not perfect. Nothing ever is. But the shield of silence is cracked. That's enough for now. A final message pinged on his phone, a note from one of the community witnesses, thanking him. Because of you, our voices matter. He stared at it for a long moment. And in that simple acknowledgement, Aaron understood the true cost and the true reward of facing a system built to protect the powerful and silence the vulnerable. The fight had been long, exhausting, and fraught with danger. But justice, finally, had been served.